Hi, Douglas Rees. Teacher knew the ending before I did, and to Karen will slowly find editor stuck in a new Sodom. This all began on the day I came home with straight F's. And for F in English, F in math, F in social studies, F in science. I even got an F in gym and homeroom. I was proud of that. My parents had a want. What is this? My father raged when I showed him my grades. A report card, I said. They put these letters down on it and see it and it tells you what grade you got. I see the letters and the comments with them. Cody has turned in no homeworks at all 9 weeks. Cody has been absent literally every day this quarter. Cody has spent every day in class to prove Mr. Isaac Newton was mistaken about the laws of gravity. These experiments have consistently repeated jumping off my desk and flapping the floor. This is distracting to the other students. He has done no other homework. And homework. There's homeroom. Yeah. There's no comment from your homeroom teacher, so I suppose that's actually how in God's green earth did you manage to flunk homeroom? Easy. I never won. And what's this? Dad said. Especially from the physical. Yes, your son has shown the intellectual development of an little hardy, gaudy gin grinder and the attention span of his monkey. It is impossible to evaluate his work, as he has not done anything. He is lazy, sly, and generally useless. I can confidently predict that he will be spending the rest of his life in ninth grade. I only hope that I only hope it will be at some other school. Go back to California. The last part sounded like a good advice to me, but I doubt Dad will take it. We glared at each other in a way we developed ever since he moved us from home to this dump of a town, New Sodom, Massachusetts. I wouldn't drop his eyes. He wouldn't drop his eyes, and I wouldn't drop mine. This was cue to Mom to stop making terrified gaps and won't start making excuses. I like this part. It's not his fault, Jack, she said. Right. It's this place, but again. He's been miserable ever since we moved. George writes, Dad's out. But Dad didn't know he was out. Dad, he's been cutting off his nose to spite his face, he said. I cannot accept that. Yeah, and you can't do anything about it either. Dad threw back his head and he was about to explain to the jury why only an idiot wouldn't see things his way and give his client what he wanted. Now, look here, young man. This move is the best thing that has ever happened to us. I was going nowhere at Billings, Billings, and Billings. Jack Elliott was good enough to handle their really tough cases, but not good enough to promote. No, my name wasn't Billings. So that was that. And this opportunity opened up at Litch, swindled and twist. I knew it was the best chance I ever had to get to have a career I wanted. So here we are, and here we stay, and you better get used to it. Fine, and I will go right on and flunking, and you can get used to that. I didn't say it, though. I only thought it, but I meant it. Dad looked at my report card. Homeroom, he said softly. My son flunked homeroom. Mom came over and put her arm around me. It won't do anything good to get mad, Jack, she said. Those grades are a cry for help. Cody needs something in his life to connect up. He needs love. Good idea, Mom. I would love to go home. Extracurricular activities, perhaps, Dad said, working on a road gang after school. Freelance garbage collection he needs and acquire skill which can support himself since college is obviously out of the question. That's not fair, Mom said. You dragged us 3,000 miles from home and further your career, and you expect both of us to accept it as though nothing had happened. Well, that's not realistic. Ooh, no, no, it was us that was standing pretty. This was sounding pretty good. Better than usual. Maybe enough us would get me back to California. I thought about doing the stare again, but dropped my head instantly. And another thing, Dad said, this is also an obscenity. He must have thought Mom had a good point. He was changing the subject. That hat goes. At least don't wear it in the house. This was my black vest baseball cap, which I always wore backwards because Dad hates baseball worn backwards. Just piss off your dad even more, kid. Just piss him off even more. Don't change the subject, Mom said. You're not in court now. Cody needs something in his life to care about. All right, Dad sighed. Tell us, Cody, can you think of anything you want to make happy? Tattoos? Dad crumpled the report card. I partially agree with you, Beth. Our son does need something new in his life. He needs a tougher school. Tomorrow I'll start making inquiries. The next day I was worried that the Cawthon Mather High School was almost sounding good to me. The cracked ceilings, the wooden floors that creaked like they were in pain. Then the boys' bathroom, which was as dark as it could be and smelled worse. Oh, I could only imagine that. The thought that I might never see them again made me almost seem threatened. No, that wasn't true. It was just fear that bad as this was, Bad was determined to find someplace even worse. When he came home that night, he had a thin smile on his face and a couple of big Melania envelopes in his hand. Seek and ye shall find. Goodness, what are you trying to do? Speak in old 18th century language or something? You're not Shakespeare. You are not allowed. Sorry. I have learned that there are not one, but two really hard schools in this excellent town. I've got all the information here. You work fast, Mom said, crossing her arms. Turns out there was other members of my law firm who had children in each one, Dad told us. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna butcher them, aren't I? Clancy Kincaid and has a son and daughter-in-law, lady of perpetual homework. It's like a nightmare to every kid. Perpetual homework. But isn't that like high school? He speaks very well of it, and there's a public school that just goes to work even harder into the Vlad Dracula Magnus. Oh, I want to go to that school. It has the word Vlad in it. It's Vlad the Impaler. Sweet. I wish. Oh, that was real. I wonder if it is. Lady of Perpetual Homework. My stomach froze. I heard about the place. Every kid in town was afraid to be sent there. But we were even Catholic. I swear my throat's going to kill me. I squeaked. That isn't necessary, Dad, said Vaskin. Sad affection. Oh. Many of the most difficult students come from other religions, traditions. Sooner or later, everyone breaks, or so Catholic Kin Cats assures me. I believed it. I've been known to buy that place once when I was cutting class. They said you could hear the screams coming through the walls. I hadn't. I never forgot the words carved into stone over the door. All hope abound ye who enters Dante. Oh my goodness, that's someone Dante's Inferno. Sorry. But it's expensive, isn't it? I mean, private school, easily affordable, dad part. Oh god, it sounds so dirty when you said that. I really need to get my mind out of the gutter. I'm making a great deal more money than I ever had at Billings. But I gather you would rather go to Vlad Dracula if you can qualify. I don't know. I heard that Dracula, but only the name. Kid at Com never said much except things like football teams up against this Saturday. Pray for them. Pray for them. I would actually be rooting for that because of the Dracula reference. When I heard that, I asked the kid who said it. It was a big deal. Shut up, he explained. Come on, what is it? Is Vlad Dracula where they send the kids who flunk out of our perpetual homework? I asked. Look stupid. The kids had said, never say those words. Never say those whole names. And no, it's not where they send the kids who cut OLPH. No, real parents would never send their kids to Vlad. And that was as much as anybody ever told me. What name is Vlad Dracula for school? What do you mean? I mean, the Vlad Dracula was a vicious, cruel 15th century Romanian monarch who was impaled his prisoners alive on the stake. What was the school thinking of? That was an awesome name. And people who are horror fanatics will come flocking to that place. That and some people think of him as a hero. That's one of the. There appears to be a sizable contingent of Romanian Americans in this town, Dad said. Oh God, why these names? Why? Antonescu tells me that among the Romanians, Vlad Limpel was quite a hero. Obviously, they named school after him as a gesture to ethnic pride. And pride can get you killed, so is arrogance and ego. You idiots. Then again, I would try to actually go to that school. I don't care what catch there was. Well, among the rest of us here, he's better known as Dracula amongst. Yes, but I prefer the name Alucard because it sounds nicer, cooler, and much more sinister. How it is just Dracula spelled backwards. So what? Dad says the school has the highest GPA in the state. GPA doesn't matter at all times. Some people who have lower GPA actually are more successful, but those who slack off are less successful. So basically, in the middle, people. Middle, I say middle. Oh wait, where was I? Not only that, but the kids who graduated from it goes to top universities. Not just some of them, all of them. Every year. I want to have the success rate of the school. That's my question. I don't want cutting. Then it's Our Lady of Perpetual Homework. Sounds more like a boarding school for females. Why? Either one is fine with me, Dad said. Did do I get anything to say about this? I asked. I don't see why you should, Dad said, given that you are having this conference because of your demonstrated unwillingness to meet the most minimal academic standards. But that said, sure, go ahead. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Don't do this to me. Take me home. Yeah, but that isn't going to happen. Not tonight. And how about hiring a part two? Maybe about 25 and good looking. Thank you for the suggestion. We're going to visit a couple of schools tomorrow. Wow, that was only chapter one. Yeah, I am really and slow while I was reading. That's mostly outside talking. Yeah, actually reading. But okay, oh, that's what it is. And that was it. Hi, chapter one. I hope you enjoyed. Name's Brie, yada yada yada. And I don't even want to care about this. I don't know why I made this. But oh well. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe button, whatever icon, yada yada. You like or dislike it as you please. Who cares?